User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel. User joined your channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Major apologies from us here today. We've had a massive issue with the broadcast. You currently join us mid-race here at Londrina, a very elevated and very tight circuit. So far, we had Dan Allison starting on pole position. He has maintained this, and Jimmy Hughes starting on the second grid slot is with him yet again. They've pulled away from the rest of the field with a battle between James Ross and Nick Hughes currently occurring in third and fourth, and then we have this massive scrabble that you currently see on your screens between Casademont. We have a new man, Bernardo, Fan Schmidt, Lars Brugman, Tamas Foth was involved with it a couple of minutes ago. He's there. You just saw him go through your pictures up the road. For the lower positions, we have Kuthil for the first time in the top 10 in race 1, and honestly, it's absolutely brilliant. We've got 6.5 minutes to go, and so as you join us, it's definitely still all for play for, especially in these midfield positions, Liam Jenkins.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Real pleasure to be here, and again, sorry for all the kind of issues we've had earlier, but we are racing now, 6 minutes to go. Still Allison that leads at the front there, however, he's still constantly being hounded by Hughes. But again, we're taking a look at now, though, as we quickly switch to Allison, is he's just not giving up, though. Jimmy Hughes has been there the entire race, hounding with his brother, has fallen behind to Lee Ross, who of course dropped out of the top 10 last race 2 weeks ago. So needs a good result to get his championship charge back on track. But right now, Jimmy Hughes just cannot find the way past. This track, I find, is very reminiscent of Interlagos in terms of the way it's laid out. It's very tight, very twisty, and plenty of elevation changes, which is a big difference from what we saw 2 weeks ago. And it really coming out another side to the drive, and it's extremely hard to pass here. And you're seeing a grade A example of that, because Jimmy Hughes, we all know how talented he is pushing so hard, look, trying to push Allison all the way around the track almost, trying to shove his way through, but he just cannot get the momentum going.
And I mean, we were talking about it before, how Jimmy Hughes is very tactically alert. You know, he knows when to make the right position, and in previous weeks we've seen him make the move at just the right time, that he gets ahead of Allison and keeps the position for first. Here, not as much chance whatsoever. The circuit is so tight, and yet it's going to be very interesting to see if he does actually get past at all. Focusing now on third, we've got Lee Ross, of course, as Liam just said. He crashed out both times last week and has now fallen to 12th in the Drivers' Championship. He's found some clean air though, and safely got past Nick Hughes, who was ahead of him at the start of the race, and it appears that he's gone quite stuck in traffic. So good news for Lee Ross, he seems to be back on track, which, I mean, considering his past is fair enough. And oh goodness me, that looks like Kevin Cordice there, stuck in the grass. I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like an engine blowout, and that's a shame for him to end this early. Going now into the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, led by Casademont. We've got Brugman, as I said, Newman, Bernardo. Fantastic first race to get into the top 10, and then behind them Fan Schmidt. He was up in 5th at one point actually, has fallen back either by mistake or purely by the pace of the guys behind him. And you know, actually I think it's best to go back to the point of developing drivers. He was up in 5th position, and it's a testament to how you learn in the series. We saw Fan Schmidt actually in the first race, Interlagos. He crashed into the back of Luke Walsh. He's learned from those mistakes, and even though he's fallen back to 9th position now from 5th, still holding on to the back, hoping for a good result. Also, as we said, David Kuthil there, his first time in the top 10 in race 1. It's just brilliant to see drivers developing as the series goes on. It's good to see different people in the top 10 too.
Oh, it really is. You can see just how hard they're pushing and how much the series does mean to them. and that evidently shows in their driving style. With just 3 minutes to go, though, I think it's all going to come down in terms of who wants it more, who wants to push that extra bit. Not only just those midfield positions, but in terms of the lead of the race as well, because Hughes has been trying for at least 15 minutes now to try and get past Allinson, and it's going to be so frustrating for him now that he just can't quite get that momentum going to take the lead of the race. And of course we do have a 100% reverse grid for race 2, which can really shake up the action, and with a circuit as tight as this, we've already seen how much Jimmy Hughes has struggled to overtake Dan Allinson. I wonder how much, you know, of this is going to impact Dan Allinson, Jimmy Hughes, Lee Ross, you know, Tamas Foth, who are going to start from the rear end of the field and try and push their way through.
I think, to update you with the standings, Jimmy Hughes currently leads the Drivers' Championship by 3 points. Dan Allinson. Then, there's actually quite a considerable gap back by 13 points to Nick Hughes, who found himself on the podium for the first time last race. He's down in 4th, and I think it's fair to say that the championship very much lays in the hands of these two drivers. Neither of them have used up 2 of their DNFs, you could say, for points positions. As Jimmy Hughes actually now, he makes the move through, and what a brilliant move there by Jimmy Hughes. But the two are side by side.
Allinson has a cutback, he's got that extra momentum, he got the cutback, Allinson knew that, so I let him go. Slam that door shut with some force as well. But Allinson provisionally says, if you want to get this move, Jimmy, you've got to try a lot harder than that. And I'm sure there'll be a little competitive smile between the two, because they know going into these final 2 minutes, the race is well and truly on.
We've got 1 minute 40 or so seconds to go. We think we've actually finally figured out how the timing system, and oh goodness me, it gets very close there, but we think we've figured out how the timing and lap system works. If they do not end the lap on the timer, then they go round again for the rest of the lap. If the timer hits 0, that is the end of the race. And so it looks like we are going to get 1 lap left. And this will be very interesting to see. I think this is why Jimmy Hughes has been pushing so hard now and went for that 2 or die move just then. It'll be interesting to see, has he fallen back so much now that he can't do anything? He's going to get the slipstream around this relatively long curve straight. It's going to be very hard to get past here. It's a massive elevation change onto bumpy curves, and Jimmy's not going to want to throw a result away here, and indeed he doesn't. He's going to keep it back. Look how bumpy that stuff is. It's absolutely incredible to see the cars flying across it. This is where he made the move last time, but as I said before, not close enough it seems. He's going to have a small amount of time to be able to do anything though, but he is right on the back of him. Look how hard he's pushing, trying to find any way to get past his championship rival, who's trying to reduce the deficit as best as he can. Going now onto this back straight. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Land, but like it looks like that do or die maneuver might have just scuppered his chances here. He's trying to close the gap, but there's just not enough of a system. As Ginsby tries to come back the outside.
You can see he's trying. I think he's got in too deep. What he's done now, he tried to slip back underneath, but got too close. Now he's on the dirty part of the racetrack. Now goes for the cutback, but I don't think that's enough momentum as they climb the hill. He's going to have to settle for second at best, I think it may be. They swing right again. You can see how much he's flinging the car outwards to try and get some extra momentum, but I don't think it's enough as they come down the start-finish straight. He looks for a manoeuvre, but it's not going to be enough. He pulls out there. It's a drag race. Can he do it? He's clinched it. No, he can't. And it's Dan Allinson, which takes the victory of race 1. Jimmy Hughes comes in a gallant second place. And how close was that between those two? Lee Ross will come in 3rd. Nick Hughes in 4th. Tamas Foth will come in 5th position, but I'm so breathless on that one. That was an absolutely incredible race at the front.
I think hats off to Dan Allinson. He has been overtaken every time those two have been in combat at the front. He has always been overtaken by Jimmy at the last straw. This time he was able to hold on, and so he reduces the points deficit, and it'll be very interesting to see how these two fight up in the back in race 2. We've seen Dan Allinson definitely the more stronger in that position. Could we see the championship fight heighten even more? Just going down the field, as we said, Tamas Foth there in 5th. Casademont with, I believe, a best finish of the season in 6th. Newman Bernardo, fantastic to finish in the top 10, a 7th position for him. Lars Brugman comes home in 8th. Van Schmidt does come home in 9th. And well done to David Kuthil, his first top 10 finish in race 1. And well, I think it's a shame that the people didn't get to see the first half of that race, but I hope that in seeing the second half of the race you kind of get an idea of what was going on up and down the field.
Oh, it was just an absolute incredible race, though, to see. And now, obviously, the big factor is that before we have this little almost kind of warm-down session, the guys just take a couple of seconds to breathe and recuperate, especially for the guys like Jimmy Hughes, who left it all out on the tarmac. They're going to do this all again, only this time their challenge is at least quadrupled, because they'll start right from the rear end of the field, and the man who finished last place will start on pole position, which is what really does shake up this championship. If you have a poor race 1, you can really force it back in race 2 and potentially take maximum points, but we'll have to see. Probably the most exciting factor of this kind of format is seeing the likes of Allinson, seeing the like Hughes and Lee Ross all try and push their way through the field and get some big points. And the majority of the time this season, James, it's kind of really worked for them. We've seen some fantastic moves and some real big championship charges, and it could be a drive like today where it could really make or break a championship.
Absolutely. Now, I think actually 100% reverse grid's going to be very interesting here because 2 weeks ago we were in Curitiba, which I think we both agreed on was one of the tightest circuits we've seen this season so far. The reason why they were able to get past quite easily was the massive back straight, there was a massive pit straight, and the corners weren't relatively too hard to get past. Here, it's almost like Curitiba fused with Interlagos, as you said earlier, and I think it's more than quadrupled challenge of getting from the back to the front. I doubt, I'm going to throw it out there and say we'll probably see the likes of Dan Allinson, Jimmy Hughes find themselves in the top 10 again, but I do not think they will be fighting for the win today. I simply think that the circuit is too tight and too dangerous to be able to try and go up that far.
Well, we'll have to see. Of course, you know, Lee Ross will be one man who definitely wants to try and push for more, but he's in a bit of a tricky situation now. As you said, 2 DNFs last time out at Korea, but he really needs to try and recuperate from that and try and get the best result he can today in order to kind of make up for lost time, if you will, and get that championship chase back on. But for now, I think, as you said, because he's a big, you know, he likes to try and throw the car around and make those big manoeuvres, it could, in fact, maybe hurt him in the long run if he goes for something too substantial today. But we'll have to try and wait and see as we wait to go for another 25 minutes of racing as the cars line up on the grid. It promises to be a spectacle you just don't want to miss.
Right, so here we go on pole position. It's Mr. Dave Begley himself. It's going to be very interesting to see how he goes. There's Mark Gormley at the back. He crashed out in race 1. He's Mr. Consistent. Will he be consistent here today as we are racing? And it's a poor start from Begley, but what a start from Mark Gormley. Straight up into second place there. Is he going to overtake Antonia, who's in second? He's challenging for the lead, and I think he might just have it. He's going to have the inside line going into this curve straight. And look at Dave Begley. He's already falling back. There's Stevenson. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. No, there's massive contact there. And down the field goes Gordice. And oh my goodness me, it's a huge pile up. Multiple cars involved there, all stem from, Kevin Cordice, who's just flown away. But look at Mark Gormley up in first. He's got a massive gap from Dave Begley. There's Scott Webber there in third, with Fuller in fourth. No idea who's in fifth. DeWilt in sixth. He pulled off early in race 1. Kuthil in seventh. He started 10th. What the heck is going on? Matt Benn in 8th. Got Bichel in 9th. I believe that's Neil Harvey in 10th. Let's look down the field to see where one of the Hughes or Allinson is. There's Allinson, I believe, in 16th.
Oh, he got more contact there! And I believe it may have been broken.
He's gone across the field, and oh no!
And it has been a carnage ensued.
Oh, is that Hughes? It's Jimmy Hughes who's off! Oh no! It's Jimmy Hughes who's off with Tamas off!
Yeah, and now goes again Cordice!
Oh my god! What is going on? It's Jimmy Hughes and Tamas fourth! First and fourth in the championship are out of the race! Unbelievable stuff! Allinson is still there in 16th. I'm not sure where Nick Hughes is. I can't see him in the top 20. Oh, there he is actually. He's in P20. Allinson moving down to 18th now. He's got 19th now, 20th now. 20. What's happened to Allinson? No, cameraman, can we have a look at Dan Allinson? Or has he retired? No, he's there. He must have had a moment off track. He's down in P22. And yeah, words escaping as someone else goes off there. I'm not sure. Number 08, that's Lucas Deggan. He had a bit of an issue last weekend. There's people up in the pit. It's absolute carnage. But nevertheless, there's Mark Gormley, Mr. Consistency, absolutely miles ahead of the field. There's Ken Hunter up into second. What happened to David Begley? He's nowhere to be seen.
I was, hearing from Ken earlier, he was looking a bit, not so much pessimistic, but he wasn't expecting a good result today. He really proved himself wrong. Now he's got a great opportunity as a cavalry, though. Oh my! Being broke behind his fullers there. Begley's down to 22nd, caught up in the carnage. This has been crazy, and there's Hugh still stuck in the wall, but Ken Hunter will be absolutely thriving off the adrenaline right now as he climbs the hill, being chased down by a pack of angry wolves around this circuit, and he's just going to be loving it. He's got a chance now to potentially take a podium. This has been the most exciting race of the season so far, but we're only 4 minutes into it.
Oh my god, there's Remco de Wilt. He crashed out, he pointed off early. He's gone around the outside and he's up into 4th position, or is it 3rd position even? There's Simon Fuller down into the field. Couthill, he finished 10th last race, he's up into 4th already. Scott Webber's down in 7th, he's up to 6th again, he's down to 7th again. With I think that's Lars Brugman who finished in the top 10 with Ben in 8th. Van Schmidt is up to 9th yet again. His teammate Anderson is in P10, and my goodness me, what is going on, Liam Jenkins? This is absolutely nuts as Ken Hunter leads this absolute huge crowd of cars down the back straight. There's Lars Brugman confirmed in 5th position. Going into this massive left-hander, Ken Hunt, he's holding on reasonably well, but Remco de Wilt will be looking for any chance to get past. We know he's a faster driver than Ken, but Ken is going to be looking for a good result, and actually up the inside there goes Remco de Wilt. And he looks like he's got the position done. Ken Hunter definitely wanting to keep out of trouble there. But now he's going to have the problem of David Couthill on the back of him. He's going to want a podium position. He's had 2 of them already thanks to race 2. But he's got Brugman on the back of him himself. And goodness me, it looks like the field is finally going to splinter off. We have this mid-battle here between Brugman, Couthill, and Brugman does go for the inside there.
Back forward. Take a look in front because they're both gaining now, I think. Hunter may have to try and back away. He's only lost where he somehow held on. But we've all heard of the trolley train. I think we've said hello to the Hunter Horde, because right now, Ken Hunter is just leading this pack away, just trying to stay on the back, and you can see them flow through now just behind him. There goes Brugman trying to get through Couthill. He's done a good job there. Next up on his hit list then is Ken Hunter. He's looking already very aggressive here. Looks to try and make something stick as Hunter just tries to drive defensive. That's all he's got to do. Just take what you can. You've got 20 minutes left and around 20 all storming cars behind you. And this is such a scenario right now. But back in front, one man who's going to be loving life is Gormley.
Mark Gormley, Mr. Consistency, the silent killer. He was absolutely robbed of a good position in race 1 last week. He fought his way, I should say, grammar escapes me, into 4th position, and look at him pulling away from the field. He's going to be absolutely laughing himself all the way home. All he has to do is keep it on track. De Wilt is going to be happy as well. He seemed to be getting into some lovely fresh air, and I believe he's also been on the podium as well. Not entirely sure, but there we go. It looks like actually Brugman has got past Hunter, it looks like, and Hunter is, oh dear, he's pulling off to the side. He just wants a good result from this, and Couthill flies past. Here comes Venn now, but he's going to have to go offensive to get past Hunter this lap, and he bashes across the curve. That was a stupid move from Venn, it must be said, but he does seem to hold on rather well. And it looks like Anderson, he gets mugged by the teammates there. Van Schmidt and Anderson both taken. Ken Hunter now in 5th with the 2 teammates, as I said. Right behind him we've got Bijel in 8th. Venn has fallen back down to 9th. And there's Stephenson in 10th with Webber 11th, and Lee Ross, the man who we said should have been more cautious. What need is there to be cautious in this race? He's up to P12.
Oh, indeed, as now take a look at once again as these cars are fanning their way past Hunter, if you will. And it's unfortunate there's Van Schmidt, and again, as we said, find his way past. But now he's got to be careful. I wonder where Hunter's going to end up, if you will. Now, as you see a bit of a lock up in front. I hope that wasn't an incident, because the only thing we can take other one is right now again Hunter's come under pressure. But nonetheless, I'm sure it'd be really quite ecstatic to be up there to hold outside line. Oh, he's got to be very careful while doing that. There was a very, very late braking manoeuvre, but very well played by Ken Hunter. Look at the pack of wild dogs behind them. trying to find their way out around this circuit, but I still can't get over what's happening. We've seen, you know, one of the championship leaders. You've got Jimmy Hughes out of the race. You've got Tamas Foth out of the race. You see Stevenson try to make a move for. He's currently in P8, looking for P7. Oh, I think that actually could be P9. He goes onto the grass a bit there, careful not to get sideways and go towards the next corner. Going to be very careful. We can see how hard these minis are getting pushed over the limit, over the bump. That's the way you want to go. Nicholas, another one in the background going to a bit of a bumpy ride. This isn't a fairground attraction. This is a racing track, gentlemen. Come on.
The closest situation that this reminds me of is when I went to Westfields up in London. The first day was absolutely manic with people trying to get in front of me, and this is absolutely nutty racing. I mean, as you said, Jimmy Hughes out the race, Tamas Foth out the race, Alinson hampered, he's down in 17th, Ross in 13th. Where on earth has Nick Hughes ended up? He's actually 11th. He's done pretty well for himself as Beechel looks to get on the inside of Ken Hunter. Ken Hunter goes very, 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 very wide. And he's going to have to pull it back on track. He's going to get absolute mud, but Beechel's gone wide as well, so Stephenson's going to try and get him. But Neto, he's up there as well, he's in P9. There's Nick Hughes as well, he's gone up there as well. And there's Lee Ross, there's Neil Harvey, there's Casademont there as well, there's Addison. And oh my goodness me, it's all too much to handle as Ken Hunter gets out of the way. It must be said rather sensibly, he's getting absolutely mugged. There's Lee Ross now trying to get behind him. He's let a whole host of cars get past him down this straight. Is it going to be another one in the form of Lee Ross, or is Lee Ross going to make a massive mistake like he has in the past? He looks like he's actually going to hold on and be much more cautious. That's a good option for him as we fly around Southern. And there's Beechel going wide again. Ken Hunter just about avoiding it all. And there's Lee Ross on the outside. It looks like he's going to keep on going. But no, it looks like Ken Hunter might just be able to hold on there. And is he going to let him pass? Lee Ross is still actually made his way in front. So a good move there from Lee Ross. Persistency helping him out there massively. And Ken Hunter is now out of the top 10.
That's not where he wants to be either, and you can see him there just unfortunately slipping away, and it's going to be such a shame for him. He's trying to push her, he's not letting go. I think that Hunter horde may have just haunted away, and it's unfortunate for him. Let's see, as you can see Scott Webber in the background, maybe next in line to try his luck on Ken Hunter. Hunter becomes he's a big sideways, he somehow kept it on. Masterful diving skills there by Scott to keep it alive. As they can see, Casademont not too far behind, I believe. There's Alinson as well. These three know each other very well. Looking all for a similar result. Scott Webber almost pulls alongside Alinson there.
Oh, he's going to the inside!
In here, I think. No, just scraped that one. They're still side by side with Alinson. It's a drag race as they come down the straight. Then it's absolute pure pedal to the metal. Doesn't quite have enough momentum, so sensibly dips into the slipstream. But right now, Dan Alinson has to be loving life. He made such a big jump now. He's at P15, 14 minutes left, a massive pack of cars in front of him, and surely this must be a promising sign for him as he's almost getting pushed into the corner. Somehow holds on. This is how tight it is, though. You can see them now trying to navigate their way past Hunter. Almost three right there. And Hunter in the middle. How that's never going to pay off. And that's going to bite him in the backside, because through now goes Casademont. And I think there's Axelson as well trying to get his nose in, but Hunter somehow avoiding all of this. And in P13 he's got to feel the pressure right now, and he's not going to be liking it, because these are angry dogs trying to force their way through and get to the prize at the end of the road. And that prize could very well make the difference between a championship win and a 5th or 6th position, as right now it's just nothing to separate them.
Or is that Casademont off? Where's Casademont gone? Oh goodness me, he's still there. Sorry, just a quick update up the front actually. De Wilt has fallen back to 5th position. I'm not sure why, but you know, he's got up to 4th again. But Kuthil has got past him. Brugman has got past him up into 2nd. Anderson is right back on him. So I don't know whether the tyres have gone, but something has happened to De Wilt. Here's Mark Gormley right up at the front. He's pulling away at an absolute rate of thousands of kilometers per hour. I've got no idea what sort of effort he's putting in there, but oh my goodness me. A quick update of the top 10 then. But mind you, let's focus on De Wilt first. Being attacked by Anderson, and Anderson gets the corner very, very easily. De Wilt's going to try and hold on around the outside, but it seems like it's already been done. Or is it? It's now a right-hander which these cars are going to be flying through, and Remco De Wilt just about holding on, but Anderson is right on the back of him, and with a straight to come, it must be easy pickings for the driver there. And Schmidt, he's got a prime view of what's going on there. If anything happens in front of him, he's going to be in a right heap. He's going to hook onto the slipstream of his teammate. And what's happened to Anderson? It appears that Schmidt's going to get the corner, or is he? Oh no, Anderson just about holds on. I thought things were going to end up much worse than that. There we see Nick Hughes and Lee Ross up into the top 10 after a manic few laps. They're finally up there, and this will be doing absolute wonders. Remember, Nick Hughes actually third in the championship, so he might be able to gain a bit on his brother at the end of this if he keeps on pushing.
Indeed he will, and that's exactly the mindset he needs. But right now, Lee Ross is going to give him a hard time, and if I look back, that Hunter Horde still very much existing. You can see the little flow through now. Ken is, seemingly on down the field. You can see Scott Webber there just trying to push his way in the right direction. But it's still a very, very manic opening stint to the race. I think we're going to need to see a couple of replays perhaps just to clarify everything that happened at the start. Maybe like a highlights package that's put together, but absolutely manic.
Just saying opening stint, Liam, we've been here 14 minutes. We've been here over half the race and still everything's still kicking off. It's absolutely brilliant racing. I'd say this is well up there. My favourite race of the season so far. Mark Gormley keeping it nice and cool. He's going to absolutely love the fact he's in P1 at the moment. Brugman, wonderful free air. He must be thanking the racing gods. Ayrton Senna has absolutely praised him today. But there behind we've got a much more interesting battle right down from Remco de Wilt to Lee Ross. Neil Harvey seems to be in a bit of no man's land, and behind him is still all kicking off. Looks like Scott Webber's got past, Allinson has got past Hunter, and he's now down to P17.
Yeah, a very shaken up order from what he would have managed. I'm sure the bookies will be having a field day right now as to what's happening. If you have to put bets on anyone taking a win. However, the one figure which should surely not change is Gormley up front. He's doing a sterling job at the moment in the lead of the race. You take a look at Vignari now, trying to get past that number 69 bar. Don't think he's going to try yet though. Try and hold that outside line. Of course, he's going to be on the weaker end going into the corner, swoops it round, and that is the overtake of the race, hands down. Vignari just trots off like it was just something out of a textbook. And now you can see just behind him, there's Bernard. He's going to get his way through in his debut, but absolutely, I can't even, incredible stuff. I've lost words there.
What a move.
Absolutely brilliant.
Forget overtaking move of the race, that was overtaking move of the season for me. That was, right, let's use language, that was balls to the wall stuff right there. What commitment to go around the outside of a bumpy section. Unbelievable. Well done, sir. And keep in mind, that was for 11th. He's not even in the top 10 yet. Oh,
yeah, but he's definitely charging right now. He's pushing so hard. And talking one man, he's still pushing. He's not giving up, is he? It's Ken Hunter. Was in second at one point, and he's now down to 17. But he's trying still so hard to hold on Axelson at the moment. And let's see if we can keep him at bay, because kind of Hunter Horde has deserted him temporarily. We'll see if we can catch it back up later. Right now, Scott Webber's at the back of it. He just saw him there, trying to push his way through. And right now, it's not going too badly for him. He's still there, I believe. He's got Casademont just in front of him, a couple of cars away. And then still got Vignari, though, now back into the top 10.
Oh, he's in top 10, yeah.
There's no in as well, though. Gormley up front. Then you've got in P2, Brugman, who's done so well. And then Fanschmidt up in P5. He's had a great race so far.
Excellent. He's fought his way back up the field to where he should have finished really last race. There's Nick Hughes and Lee Ross. They've gotten up to 6th and 7th. That's very impressive, considering they started from the back of the field. But what about poor Begley? What on earth happened to him? P1 falls back to P2, and then something must have happened, because he just fell like a stone. And it looks like he's letting the field through there. I mean, where is he? That looks like Vandenberg going up into P22 now. I mean, well, shame you look at the damage on the right side of that car. I mean, I only presume a collision with the wall was to blame for that, and that is racing. And I think that phrase will apply more than anything to Jimmy Hughes and Foth there. We see Anderson out, Cordice out, I believe Fuller's out as well, so absolute shame really. And sorry, I think, who's that? I'm not sure who was up in front of him, but I mean, yeah. It's what a race so far. We've still got 7.5 minutes to go, mind you.
Yeah, and that is just touring car racing all over those shocks when you least expect it. And just about everything else in between as well. As there you are seeing Boonberg at the moment. P23 still though, the spirit of these drivers, they're not giving up, are they? They know they can get more from this race. They're in close proximity of each other, and they realise what's at stake here. There's
Stephenson in the pit there, mind you. I think he was in the top 10 actually, so that's possibly why Vinari's up into P10 there. But I mean, you gotta applaud this man, Mark Gormley, the silent killer as nicknamed him. Gonna take a bundle of points away from this, it must be said, 30 in total. And wow, I mean, he's what a boost to his championship. He resides in P5. Let me just count this up. He is 23 points off the pace currently, and Jimmy Hughes' retirement definitely going to bring him back on level peggings, hopefully, with the race. Keep in mind, his nearest rival is actually Tamas Foth. He's crashed out himself. He's only 1 point ahead of Mark Gormley, so if my calculations are correct, the Gormley moving up into P4 in the Drivers' Championship.
Oh, that will be absolutely incredible. We'll see if that can transpire. We still have 6 minutes of racing left, and if the past 18 minutes have showed us anything, is that anything can still happen. There's still a massive cars all dueling away, so you can see them flow past your screen now. And that just shows you the sheer pace of these drivers. They just don't want to give up. Ken Hunter, unfortunately, has been passed there by Axelton, but nonetheless, he will still... Bishop, yeah, beg your pardon, so we'll still retain that P16, so it's not going too bad for him so far. We'll see what he can bring towards the end of the race. As you can see, Bishop there on number 53, doing a good job at the moment. No, it's a couple cars doing that. They've got almost 4 wheels off the track. I wonder if there'll be any spoken words after the race, but nonetheless, so that's still that top 5, which has been utterly flawless this afternoon. Then you can see that Lee, Ross and Hughes up into 6th and 7th. These guys could maybe, just maybe, sniff a top 5. It's still dueling away now. They've got an ideal scenario because Fancher is actually dueling away himself.
He's actually got ahead of Kuthil, hasn't he? Because Fancher was P5. He's got ahead of Kuthil. And there's Remco de Wilt up the road as well. So these guys are really closing down. I think the tyres must have gone off de Wilt and Kuthil there. They've been pushing so hard, and they might ultimately suffer for this. And actually thinking about it, Hughes was ahead of Ross, so Ross is yet again past Nick Hughes in the race, and he's looking for a move on Kuthil. He's right on the back of him, and will he? I'm doubting he'll try and make a move like Jari Vinari did earlier. He's going to want to try and be safe, I presume. I would hope, as they fly around this corner, and oh no, it's Kuthil's off, and a spin for Kuthil. I'm not sure whether that was his fault or someone else's, but he's down in P8. Thankfully, he's managed to keep it going. But oh, what a shame at him. He's down to P8. Anson, Hughes, Ross, all capitalising on the incident there. Yeah, and that's the last thing you want as well. He's got to be careful. He can't let that incident go to his head. That's the last thing you want to do as a racing driver, because then it can only throw up more incidents. He's got to try and let that go and salvage what he can, because nonetheless his race has not gone as bad as some of the others. Take Jimmy Hughes for example, and all he's going to do is hold his head high. Talking of Jimmy Hughes, they're trying to navigate away at the moment around some traffic, as Hughes is just still at the moment trying to hold on to that back of Lee Ross and see what can happen. There you are seeing Stevenson having to reluctantly give way, because these guys are charging through, trying to catch up to the cars in front. 3 minutes left in the race. There's barely any time left now. Last chance saloon, if you pardon the pun, and it's really starting to pick up now. I wonder if Lee Ross is going to try and defend that very violently, or maybe if you can see Hughes is faster, Hughes might just go for the move, because the last thing you want to do is try and defend the 5th position if it ends up meaning 20th. So they've got to be very careful about how they approach his final 3 minutes. Looking down the field again, Minari's found himself up into P9. Excuse me, I need a drink after this. Casademont losing out there to Minari, but I think Minari deserves a top 10 position after the move he pulled earlier. Oh goodness me, sorry, that de Wilt going wide? Or was that a back marker? I think that may be a back marker. Yes, that was a back marker, so no worries there. Remco de Wilt still going strong. Van Schmidt still holding on fourth, but Lee Ross is right on the back of him. We know Lee Ross is a fast driver. It's just the overtaking which he's had problems with this season, but he's going to have a prime opportunity to do it down the straight. The two are side by side, and it's going to be absolutely nail-biting into this corner. And Van Schmidt cuts across, and Lee Ross will have to find another way through. He's going to try and hold in on the inside, goodness me, and he's going to try and carry the momentum through. Back marker there causing complications. No, Van Schmidt, very well done to hold on so far. And good job by the back marker there, not getting too much in the way. Lee Ross going to look again on the inside corner, down the straight, and the two are almost side by side, going down the Lee straight once again. Lee Ross pulls back in though. He's right behind him though. Look how close this is going to be. Will he be overcautious again? Or will he go for a Yari Venari style? And look at Stephenson's engine. That is not a healthy car, is it? As we bundle down into this second corner effectively. And yeah, Stephenson, it looks like, oh goodness, that is a smoking engine, isn't it? That car is not healthy at all.
Not at all, no. 1 minute 37 left. It will be
Is he pulling over?
Yeah, he's trying to get out of the way for starters, but that's, again, I think that could be an overheat.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah. That's a real shame for him as well, but too much action on the field at the moment. You can see that Van Schmidt still
Van Schmidt's been
holding on
overtaken.
those down. Look at Hughes. Hughes is going to try his luck. You can see Ross has made it through. Hughes is going to try the same, but look at Van Schmidt being cheeky. He's got that slipstream of Ross.
No, Nick Hughes is not going to go for the both of them.
He can't take both of them. He's gone for Ross as well, and Ross has held it just. But now with being a 3, the hunter becomes hunted because Van Schmidt will be right back on the assault package as he tries around the outside of Hughes now. Can he make it stick through here? It's very risky. He needs so much more power, and he's just going to leave it hung out to dry in a winter storm. Ross sweeps across, thanking them for that one. Well, this has allowed him to get away a little bit, but somehow Hughes held on to that. Not too sure how, but I wonder if Van Schmidt can come back.
Just thinking this is probably going to be the final lap. Where is Mark Gormley? May I ask Mr. Cameraman, where is Mark Gormley? This is going to be the last lap, I feel, so yeah, let's just leave that. Gormley in first, Brugman in second, De Wild still in third, Rost fourth, Hughes fifth. Great races by them to get up to that position. Van Schmidt also. Oh, hold on, sorry, Van Schmidt has got back past Nick Hughes by the look of it. Yeah, it looks like he's made the move stick wherever he is in the field. And then we got Anderson in P7. Or actually, no, sorry, lie. Hughes back up into 5th. Anderson 7th. Kuthil 8th. Minari 9th. Casa Dumont in 10th. But we are going to stay on board with Mark Gormley, the silent killer, Mr. Consistency himself. He saw the carnage. He went through the carnage. He led the carnage and held to the rest of the races. He has won in race 2. A fantastic effort by the man. Well done to Mark Gormley, his first race win of the season, and well deserved. Coming home in second, Lars Brugman. What a race by him as well. And he crosses the line now in third. Comes Remco de Wild, but he's been reeled in by what a race as well by Lee Ross, who's come home in fourth. Van Schmidt has re-overtaken Hughes in the ending stage of the race, and he takes P5. Nick Hughes P6. Anderson comes home P7. Kuthil P8 after losing out midway through the race. Binari, best overtaking the move of the season, P9. And Casa Dumont comes home in P10, once again displaying his worth in the championship. And well, I'm absolutely knackered, Liam. I'm absolutely knackered. What a race.
Absolutely incredible stuff. And Ken Hunter came home in 16th. I'm sure he'll be fairly happy with that one. Of course, you can see Scott Webber there trying to... Oh, got his head on. That's a pleasant little thank you. But again, Scott Webber got himself up there in P12, so a promising race for him. Begley ended up in 19th, so it was all doom and gloom for him. But I mean, obviously, the likes of Allinson came in P23, and if we said before the race, you know, what we would think Dan Allinson and Jimmy Hughes would come, last place in P23 would not be on the score sheets.
No, I did say the chance of moving back up the field was 10 times the more difficult, purely because of the tightness, the elevation changes. And I hate to say I told you so, but goodness me, was that theory proved dangerously right. Jimmy Hughes being knocked out the race by Tamas Foth, another championship contender, and Allinson getting caught up in troubles of his own. He couldn't get past the rest of the field, and he finds himself in P23 only taking 7 points. I believe he will drop that result in the end, actually, so it shouldn't matter too much, but as you said, they will have been wanting more. Something which Mark Gourmet will be absolutely thrilled with.
And it'll be
No
really
worries.
nice to hear from him as well, as we get the first couple of drivers ready for interview, and to just get ready for them to be dragged down, try and take a breather and take a moment to reminisce on the events which have just unfolded in front of us. And I think, well, James, where do you want to start this one off?
Well, I think let's start with Jimmy Hughes.
User was moved to your
Race
channel.
1.
Joined your channel.
You didn't manage to get past Dan Allinson. Not the end of the world. Can you please explain to us what happened in race 2 with Tamas Foth?
Well, I'm not really sure how it started. I've spoken to Dan over in another room, and apparently he's had an issue where his game's gone to desktop. And I can't say, I've not seen everything that's happened. There's been some contact somewhere.
There's been lots of contact.
Yeah.
There's been lots and lots of contact, mate.
Yeah, I saw it unfolding on the right-hand side of the circuit. I was on the left-hand side, and I was already three wide, a couple of guys to the right of me. And the incident started over on the right-hand side, and it's just all bumped across into me, and I've just had nowhere to go. I thought I was going to avoid it, but there's nothing I could do. But no worries, onwards and upwards.
I think the similar case would actually be with Dan Allinson. You won race 1, actually, finally beating Jimmy Hughes in these two-way encounters that you keep on finding yourselves in race 1. But in race 2, you found yourself down in P23. Was that purely because you couldn't get past cars, or were there a few issues along the way?
No, that was purely down to my completely own driving, I would say, to a point, but it completely overshadows race 1 when you have an incident like that in race 2. As Jimmy mentioned, the game not crashed, but it went to desktop. I was what's it called? I was fighting to try and find the alt and tab key to get the game back up and launched. By the time I launched the game, I realised my car had gone completely across the track in the wrong direction. And I saw some smoke in the background. I didn't know at the point whether I'd caused it or not, but I've spent the next 10 laps trying to look at the leaderboard basically, and trying to work out who was where and what, and in the end, I had to kind of unmute myself on the TeamSpeak channel just to find out which Hughes was where, because I knew some contact had occurred somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was because of me. And when I found out Jimmy was back there, I knew straight away that it was because of the contact it was because of an instance I'd caused. So I don't like the race like that. So I pulled into the pit lane and gave myself a DNF, because at the end of the day, that is what it deserves. So I'm not particularly impressed.
Congratulations to both of you. Let's talk to the other Hughes brother, Nick. Solid races, actually. You managed to avoid all the carnage in both of them. So good points. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I avoided all the carnage, because the second race was absolutely just madness everywhere. But fortunately, I managed to just keep my nose out of it and somehow ended up 6th, I think, in the end. But yeah, it's pretty hectic.
And I think to end on, let's start with the little bees that went so far. Dave Begley, you started on P1 for race 2. You were doing reasonably well. You got sort of mugged at the start, but I mean, where did it all go wrong for you?
Well, I twinged my right leg and messed up. Just ended up spinning. And so I just let everybody go past and rejoined when there was some space. So from then it just, well, I'm in the race, I might as well finish it, so I just drove around as much as I could. Yeah, it was just sort of a bad race. Although I didn't cause any pile-ups, so that's all right.
No, that's one thing. That's one thing to go away with your head held high. At least you spun on your own accord and didn't cause anything.
I spun without any help from anybody else.
And then we go to Ken Hunter, leader of the Hunter Horde, as Jenkins decided to lead it. What an eventful race you had! You didn't go off track once, but you found yourself up in P2, and then you slowly just sort of fell back down the field. I mean,
No,
His real
you
name's
can't
Truly.
say No, I'm sorry. I have to disagree. It's not a case of I fell back. I allowed these guys to go back because I was in unfamiliar territory. And I was trying to get back to my rightful place more towards the end. So it's unfair to say I did what I did. No, I allowed these guys to go past.
Well, nonetheless, I think the Hunter Horde was very entertaining to watch.
I would like a public on the forum. I would like a public thank you from all the guys that went past to me up to 16th position, and that includes Mike Bishop.
Oh, well, I must thank you all. I mean, unfortunately, the first half of the first race was not broadcast. We joined halfway through, unfortunately, due to an issue, but I think the second race more than made up for that. I mean, goodness me, everything has turned on its head. We'll bring you the full implications of that in 2 weeks' time. We were at Yacarapagua. I hope I pronounced that correctly. For round 5, the penultimate round of the RDMCC. I hope you've enjoyed the carnage and the absolute fantastic racing that we have had here today, ladies and gentlemen, because myself and Liam certainly have. So it's a goodbye from Liam.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
and it's a goodbye from everyone else
guys.
here.
Yeah, and thanks very much to you
here.
guys.
Bye-bye, guys. James, can I just
yes,
say?
hold on, sorry, yes.
James, can I just say? I think we need to thank Bram because he was supposed to be running this.
Next week.
Hang on, Bram. Bram was supposed to be running this season, and he's actually sacrificed his spot to actually do the camera work every week. And I can't thank him enough.
I'll return.
Well, I can't thank him enough. He's done some great camera work. And he's sacrificed a lot for this league, so I think some big thanks needs to go out to Bram.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Bram.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye.
Absolutely. I honestly, I think
And
the work he does.
one thing, James.
You were kicked from the channel.